on a spiritual quest, a journey. Coming here, you're going to see the black divinity. This is the black divinity that the Europeans saw on the tombs. This is what, but you see that's been scraped off. That early spirituality we're going to get into the latter part of our lectures. Just like we saw the Merkunti when we were there in Saqqara at Teti's Pyramid, and I told you to look at the Medu Neter and it looked like it was just raising off. These here, brothers and sisters, are really deep. Here you can literally, I mean, it looks like lights. They literally painted, when you look at that, it looks like lights lighting up on you. Whereas in the Merkunti text, it may have also, they may have painted it as well, but that paint is no longer there. So this is spectacular. It's also serving the same purpose as the Merkunti text. That is what? Resurrection and salvation, brothers and sisters. So again, when we go here and see the beautiful artwork, and again, you can see how beautiful the work is. Fortunately, a lot of this is still here for us to see. And unfortunately, there will be some tombs where everything has been erased, completely off of the tombs, as we see in Murna Patah. Some said it was due to flash floods, but we don't know that for sure. We know how the plunders have come through, is that right? The Patella, the House of Eternity, we see Murna Patah, that's one of the sons of Ursama At Rasab Tepen Rabba Mr. Murray Amen. But based on the ancient African Kemetic spirituality, death was not an end, but the beginning of a great journey into the spiritual life called the birth into eternal life. A birth into the Dwat, or the great cosmic womb. We came from the micro womb of our mothers, and now we're going, our ancestors, from their empirical observation, we're now going back into the macro womb for eternal life. So they had no problem seeing the cosmos as the African goddess that they referred to as Nut, going back to that universe that gave birth to the S-U-N sons, like our mother gave birth to the S-O-N son. Everywhere you see the cosmic universe of Nut painted above the tombs, as well as the sarcophagus that we showed you in the Cairo Museum. It is here for the Sahu, or the spiritual body that I've been talking about, to go on into the spiritual life, not the physical life. The death of the Nesu was announced by an official who repeated the ancient formula, the falcon has flown to heaven on the wings of Ra. Here we see that sarcophagus. When you take that bus ride up there, I want you to be mindful of the fact that they had to pull all the riches of the Nesu as well as the huge sarcophagus all the way up into that mountain area, bringing with them all the riches and so forth into the tomb. I mean, the beauty of the tombs, I mean, that alone will blow you away. How did they use paint to last for thousands of years, whereas you paint something today, it'll just chip off. This is the area that you're going to go into tomorrow, where many of these tombs have been dug out. As I said, right now there are 63 and possibly more than that. And they're named as KV 5 or KV 9 and so forth, or Kings Valley number 10 and so forth, as they have found them. Looking and understanding how far they dug down into the earth, brothers and sisters, is just absolutely mind-blowing. And the sad thing is, Seti I and some of the other tombs, all the Europeans who plundered in there, in many cases their names are right up here, like Giovanni Bazzoni. He is the one that plundered the tomb of Seti I. So his name shouldn't even be on there, so-called discovered. Europeans are always running around talking about they discovered something that was already there. So our ancestors who put this tomb here of Seti I, the longest in the Valley of the Kings. Seti I, 1311 to 1298 BCE. Seti's Pateta, or Tomb of Eternity. Here they built for eternity, and this is what Belzoni did when he came in. This tomb was in perfect condition. He came here robbing, knocking off reliefs. As you see, the destruction that has taken place, that was all done by him. He wanted to make a makeshift tomb in England, so he went about tearing off many of the beautiful reliefs that were there for 3,000 years. This tomb was in perfect condition until Belzoni came here and started to plunder inside this tomb. Most of these tombs were in excellent condition until the Europeans came on the scene. Had no respect whatsoever. That's what you're going to see when you see massive reliefs that are missing, and you go to the Louvre and the British Museum and New York City, the Metropolitan. Now they're in glass casings there. Now when you go inside of the tomb and see how the plunder, when you come down and see the beautiful reliefs, and many people say, what happened here? They came through here and just savagely ripping off these tombs. No respect whatsoever. If it belonged to Europeans, and if this was European history, and it's not. They would never have done this. They would never have pillaged and plundered the tomb. I mean, Menkaperati Mays definitely didn't want you to go into his tombs. I mean, look at that up into the mountainside here. Climbing up these steps here, KV 34, Menkaperati Prateta, the tomb of eternity, 1400 years BCE. Unique about his Prateta, or tomb of eternity, is that we see his name right here, closer view of that, Menkaperati. Let's look at something here. Menkaperati. When he is talking, it is in black. When Amun refers back to him, it's in red. This is over 3,000 years ago before this. Long before the English language and paper. There you see when Jesus is talking, they say it's in red. Was that not copied from these reliefs going back over 3,000 years ago? Something brought you back here. Something, even though you had a lot of opposition. Maybe some of the preachers didn't want you to come. But something brought you back here to take this spiritual journey. Some of us are born and we believe everything that we've been told. And some of us are born and want to know that which has not been told. I fall in the latter. Thousands of years before there was the English language and paper, our ancestors were already conveying that the spiritual deity, Neter, was speaking to us, and they did it in red before the Bible was even in existence.